All right. How's everybody doing this fine day? Got some audio, got some video. I don't know if I have Blake in the chat monitoring, but whatever. It's all good. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see ya. Starting bright and early with Ryan West. Good to see you, Ryan. Mikkel, good to see ya. Joe, Hoos, bright and early. Bright and early live stream anyway, folks. Here again, morning. Flint, Matt, there's Blake. Good to see you, Blake. Let's see, look at that. All right, top notch. Extra tired this morning. Hey-o. Tad, morning. Aaron, good to see you, dude. Hey, Aaron. Todd, good to see you. Phil. Fraser, good to see you. Some of the Northern Woods folks. The hat of the U.S. joining us from the Canada side of the border. And shall I say, welcome in Canadian to you. Kevin, good to see you. Got soccer. Just figure I'd step in. Cheers. Ooh, that might be a little flat. Oh, boy. Oh, well. We'll choke her down. Gabe, thanks for letting us know you're here. Thanks for showing up. Yes, snow golems represent. Indeed. So it was a short week for this guy, us in the Americas with the holiday. I decided to take an extra day. So I had a 3-day week. Still not enough. Still don't feel rejuvenated. Tim, good to see ya. Sean, that stuff will kill you slowly. Well, will it? I mean, really? There's people that smoke like... Now, I don't condone smoking or drinking or anything into excess, right? Let's admit it. We all know those folks that probably drink and smoke like nobody's business. They live to be 150 years old. And then you get folks that are, not very long in their lives. And, I mean, it's a crapshoot. Live life, right? Live life. Do what you want. I know Tim's looking out for me. I know his intentions are good. Tim wants me to be around for a little while. That's what it tells me. And I appreciate it. But I don't know. Someday I'll give it up. I have given it up before for a certain amount of time, but I don't know. What are you going to do? I could be doing worse things, I think. Not that that's an excuse by any means, but question for the room. RPGs that take place in Canada, either as the core setting or supplements. Everybody help out Todd. We'll get to the question of the day, but Todd's crowdsourcing. RPGs that take place in Canada, either as the core setting or supplements. I don't know. Looks like a gap. Looks like an opportunity. Kevin, been a while since I peed over your... I think that's better. Been a while since I've peed over your shoulder at the gaming shelf. It's filling in nicely. Huh. If you live longer, you get to play more games. Yeah, indeed. You're right, Tim. For sure. There's Deadlands supplement for Canadian adventures. Is it really? There you go. My co-host and I were talking about this the other day. And drawing blanks other than a vampire article that mentioned the Prince of Canada. The Prince of Canada. Is that like a Shabbat person from World of Darkness? Is it Shabbat, right? Shabbat. Is that the Clan? I don't know. World of Darkness or Vampire from a Hole in the Ground. I'll defer to Joe Swick. There are RPGs set in Canada? Dude. Who's probably lives the closest for the Americas that I know of in the chat. Maybe not. I don't know. Phil, I can't think of any, Todd. Maybe the odds Call of Cthulhu scenario. Yeah. Something's going to kill you eventually. Well, yeah, that's true. Ross Rifles is a tabletop role-playing game about members of the Canadian Expeditionary Force stationed on the Western Front, sent overseas to fight for our crown and glory, for crown and country. Well, there you go. Look at Blake. He's got the pulse on the Canadian RPG market. Rifts Canada. Great book. Is there really? Is there a Rifts Canada? Are you bullshitting, Michael? Krista, good to see you. Morning. Yes, there we go. World of Darkness has a number of books. Montreal by Night, Vancouver by Night. Look at that. All written by a French person. all written by somebody from Russia. But Ross Rifles is in Europe. Was there ever an Alpha Flight supplement for the old Phaser at Marvel or the more recent Marvel RPGs? Oh, I don't know about the recent one. There's a White Wolf supplement in Vancouver. There's another one. Morning, Eileen. Good to see you. Todd is asking if there's any RPGs in Canada. Does Monty Cook have any RPGs set in Canada, supplements or otherwise? Do you know? As the representative of Monty Cook Games. Informal representative. I'm so lamely Canadian that I bought the new Mummy RPG because my city, Halifax, is in it. Oh, God. Did you know that, Harrigan? Kristen, do you know of any other RPG stuff that's in Canada for old Todd? There is a Rifts World Books for Canada. Wow. So 2 people have said it. Sabat is a faction of numerous clans. I got it. Thanks, Joe. There really is a Rifts Canada. Oh, wow. No BS. It's an awesome book. Wow. Look at that. There you go. Is there a GURPS Canada? I mean, if you're to talk about a library of RPG stuff, right, and supplements, if it's in the GURPS section, right? Harrigan says there's a Cthulhu hack adventure set in Ontario. There are that could be, but I'm not explicitly set in Canada. But not explicitly set in Canada. The Darkest House could be anywhere. Well, yeah. I mean, that's I think with a lot of RPGs. I think Todd's trying to find one that's literally, states like this scenario takes place in this area of Canada. Apocalypse Prevention Incorporated from Third Eye Games has a recent Canada supplement. There you go. I did not know that. I will not be buying the Mummy RPG. Your house might be in there. It's on the street I grew up. It takes place on the street I grew up. Mainly because I told Aloy to make it. Well, that's the benefits of having... This might be a bad batch here. I opened it up, but I don't even know if it cracked open a fizz. Ah, crap. The Last Caravan feels like it's in Canada, though I think it says North America. Yeah. I think that's all you're going to get from this crowd today there, Todd. Come on, man. Why not? Why? Should I go get another one? The problem is with the other ones, they're not as cold. I might have... I didn't drop this. Dude, let me see. Okay, all right. Let me see. Full disclosure, I've never made anything that took place in Canada, so I'm just as guilty. Well, look at that. lit it and shake it. Dude, should I? I know there's probably carbonation in here, but it's not. Yeah, I could feel it. Yeah, it's just not where it should be. All right. Hate to waste it, but it's like what's up S3X Edmund Thunder? Sounds like it needs a lot of rum. All right, here we go. Dude, I think I got a bad batch of vanilla Coke. Seriously, these things are not cracking open the way they should be. I don't know. I don't know if it's better or not. Maybe a little bit. It's hard to say. You know what? What's a just, regular syrup and sugar anyway? Are you guys gonna get on a soapbox and lecture me for this shit now? You guys know I've drank this like every weekend. Almost. If it tastes off, it's off. Indeed. For sure. I don't know, man. Shadowrun's technically Canada because the US and Canada merged in that game's future. Hey-oh. There's a tie-in. Do I need a DoorDash you a vanilla Coke? Well, they'll never find me. They'll call me. Hello, I dropped off your vanilla Coke. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. It's not here. I'm standing right at my place. I've had that happen. They just drop it off somewhere randomly in my freaking complex. Lonely Timbers about Lumberjacks by Jason Petrie. I think it's Canada setting. Got some fuel, Todd. I could make a supplement for my Cypher game set in Canada, but it's down the road. Sugar or whatever that is can't go off, Harrigan. Morning, William. Good to see you. It's on my list to write an M Epic Delta Green game. That would be cool. I mean, you don't hear any of us complaining about a bad batch of coffee, do you? Yeah. Boy, people will choke down really crappy coffee, won't they? Tries to draw fire. I drink a Celsius energy drink every morning. 270 milligrams of caffeine. Ooh, boy. Well, I have a coffee in the morning, too. I drink the cold brew stuff that's from Costco. I don't remember. I think it's literally called cold brew. I just found Champions of the North, a Canadian supplements for Champions RPG. Look at Michael. He's just so... Look at that. Bam, bam. There you go. Another one, Todd. Evil Merlin, good to see you. Hey, since everybody's here, if you are enjoying trying to source, me talking about crappy flatty vanilla Coke and Canadian supplements or RPGs, funny coming in and out of Canadian RPGs out here in British Columbia. Yeah. So Todd Fraser, Phil in the chat are all from Canada. I don't know if you know him, Edmund Thunder. I just figure you guys all live down the same street. I razz because I love. You know that, right, you guys? I razz because I love. If you have to use an adjective in front of coffee, is it really coffee? Indeed. I honestly thought Edmund Thunder was some weird Edmonton pun. There you go. It's a long street. Salute, my dudes. We are all childhood friends. There you go. Yeah. Kristen's there, too. I forgot about Kristen. We all live on Canada's one paved road. Yeah, you guys are represented, man. I mean, today I got a lot of Canadians in the chat. So, holy cow, look out, Americans. They're invading. They're invading us. They finally had enough. Oh, Sean, say that while holding your gun with a long stalk of wheat in your mouth. Yeah, and my hat, a cowboy hat. Aren't you distantly Canadian, Sean? Represent. I am. Phil calls me out. I am. My grandparents, my great grandparents were, I guess they're called French Canadian, if you will. Yeah, So they immigrated from Canada. It's so odd. They were seeking a better life in America. So yes, I am. Yep. Oh, yeah. So my grandmother was first generation American. Yeah. They were, and I don't remember what town they were from in Canada. I'd have to look. So yes, I think it was their name, Devereaux. I think my great grandmother's maiden name was Devereaux. Anyways, yep. Yes, I am. What does that make me? A quarter Canadian. It's just, I think I downplay that too often. Probably because my name's too crazy Irish, which is not like a majority of what I am. My name is more Irish than I am. But enough of this, will you? We got to get on. We'll get you some health care, Sean. I appreciate that. Irish ancestry in Canada. What? So I have to double check. My great grandparent, here we go, ancestry.com. I don't know where my great grandparents were from. I don't know if they were born in Canada. I mean, we're talking, if my grandmother was born in 1920 something, maybe, probably roughly around there. I'd have to double check. It's like right around there in America. So you're talking about, one generation up from that in Canada. So, I don't know where I think maybe my grandmother might have been from France. I don't know. Same with my great grandmother, and then my great grandfather. I don't know what he might have been French-ish as well. But my grandmother was born here, and she married, because my last name's Kelly, right? So it comes from a guy somewhere, usually back in those days. So but there's even arguments about whether I'm really Irish, because I have an EY, and I think that's taboo in Ireland. So that might be the English version of Kelly. We all know how that goes over there. So anyways, let's get into something else. Let's get into the question of the day. Like, people are like, come on, man, let's get on with this. So here is the hypothetical situation. I was thinking about this. I'm like, all right, sports ball, another season kicks off here in the America, in the greatest country in the entire known universe. What kind of American would I be if I just wasn't that patriotic? So now we have in America going on, we have baseball, basketball, hockey, and football has started. Our American football, right? Is soccer going on? Is like Major League Soccer, MLS, going on in the U.S. right now as well? I mean, we may be hitting the the 1 month where we are sportsed to the gills. So you are an RP. I used to be a sports baller. I'm not as much anymore. But in your country could be known for rugby or whatever, Australian rules football, if you will, soccer. You are an RPG designer, and your RPG has finally hit the big time. You've made billions. Come on now. I told you this is a fantasy question. You've made billions of dollars off your RPG product, and you want to buy a sports ball team. What type of team is it? What sport is it? And what's the name of your team? I cannot wait to hear some of these. Oh, and then the WNBA, sure. Yeah. Let's not forget about the women's sports, of course. Laramie. Start over. Fair enough. Laramie, are there any Canadian RPGs or supplements? Todd Crapper wants to know. So if you have any, let him know in the chat. F1? Oh, F1 racing? Oh, there you go. F1, I don't know. I think there's an F1 race in Vegas that keeps popping up in my LinkedIn feed. That'd be fun. Go to Vegas and see F1 driving down the streets of Vegas. Come on. Come on, man. MLS, WNBA. No one cares about soccer, turns, runs, and ducks. Come on now. Sean said hockey, Laramie. Laramie appears. I know, right? It's odd. Very odd. Also, is driving a car really a sport? Oh, boy. Everybody's catching Laramie up. Got it. Lacrosse. Okay. It'd be lacrosse, Fraser says. One of my maternal uncles, one of my maternal uncles is in the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Wow, that's awesome, dude. And the name would be the Ottawa Raging Barbarians. Very good. I would want to play for that team if I played lacrosse. I think lacrosse is no joke. Like Macatron, baseball, Chicago Cubs. Is that a fantasy team? You're gonna make Kevin Keneally in the chat a little upset, Matt. Kevin does a Chicago Cubs baseball podcast. I don't know if people knew that. If you guys all apologize to him, don't say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin." Come on now. Yeah, Kevin does baseball podcast. So you're hoping for something like Vecna Vipers and volleyball? Yeah, it could be. The volleyball team, Vecna Vipers. That'd be a good one. Lacrosse is terrifying. Man, a lacrosse ball is like no joke, man. I mean, it's got to have some girth to flip it around, but man, I think that's why you wear the pads, right? In the face, like balls like smashing into your nose. That's not gonna feel good. Yeah, for sure. I will even accept like bowling, specifically when Tim says Blood Bowl. I said bowling. You could do bowling, whatever. Okay, here we go. Ryan West, back to the deal. I'm going hockey team and calling them Goliaths. Yeah? Okay. I'll wait until Ottawa's CFL, Canadian Football League. Thank you for the translation, Todd. Team folds again and started up again. Call them the Ottawa Fail Forwards. Ha ha. That's too funny. Matt says, I was born in Champaign, Illinois. Cubs fan is in my blood, and club leadership, upper office decision makers is the downfall of the team. Well, Matt, you should check out Kev's podcast. Are you in there, Kevin, still? Did he bolt? He might have had to leave. We're on our third team in 15 years. Holy cow. Rockbeard, good to see you. Welcome. Hockey, the Murder Hobos. That's a good one. Kristen, Quebec, Major Junior Hockey League. How do you say that? The Boutouche Balrog? Is that how I say it? Ugh. I do not Francais. Obviously. Orcus Dorcas, what are you doing here? Missed all the hubbub. Orcus might know. Hey, Orcus, just so you know, Todd crowdsourced the chat. He wants to know if there's any Canadian RPGs. Any RPGs set in Canada or any supplements set in Canada. Help him out. Reading Aid, good to see you. Also, hit a like or subscribe if you would be so kind. Thank you very much. Since I think we're at full capacity at this point, or as much as we're going to get. Ooh, that was said English style. I like to think of myself as bilingual. I speak Canadian and English. A little bit of Australian. A little bit. What, this guy's an asshole. Well, mileage may vary. Come on now. If I had if I had a team, what would it be? I would probably call it. I should have probably had this. Merci beaucoup. OGTG. Good to go. You have a good rest of the morning. Oh, got to go. Got it. CS3X Edmund Thunder. Thanks for stopping in. Winnipeg Wendigos rolls off the tongue. Later days, eh? Yes. Be here next weekend. Roger French. I would throw my money into the Haas F1 racing team and add a promo for the game on the livery. There you go. I would say, I'm trying to think of what I'd come up with. So I'm thinking about, I would maybe a basketball team called the D6. Yeah, Sean, there's 5 starters, but it's really like, they say they got an award called the Sixth Man Award, right? NBA team called the D6. Not bad, huh? How many up are on a lineup in hockey? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Goalie. What? Goalie, 2 forwards, 2 defenders, and center. Am I right? 5 plus a goalie, 6. Yeah. Okay, you could do that in hockey, right? Tim's got one, the Dungeon Bowl, Misty Mountain Miners. I like it. 5 plus goalie for hockey. Yeah, so you could do the D6 hockey team. Call it die pool. Guardians of the Order was known for BSM was based in Ontario or looking for a game based in Canada land. Apparently. Tyler, good morning. Good to see you. Why did announcers start saying netminder? What the hell is that? Netminder? Is that what they call a goalie? The netminder? Oh, my God. Tribe 8. Tribe 8 is a Canadian game. I'd start a hockey team called the Beholders. Then a cease and desist order would force us to change it to the Eye Tyrants. There you go. Harrigan got you one. Tribe 8, he says. You looking for some games set in Canada or Canadian authors or publishers? No, we've got Canadian authors and publishers in the chat. None of them have created a game in Canada. Todd's looking to see if there's anything that exists currently, like an RPG that is set in Canada or a supplement that sets it in Canada. Come on, Orcus Dorcas. I'm speaking American English here. I wouldn't start a team. I'd start a sport. Racquetball, the old Commodore 64 game. Harrigan, you rebel. Racquetball. I don't even remember racquetball from Commodore 64. The Madison Noble Knights. That's a good one. Mr. Habs. Hollywood Horde. What sport, dude? The Hollywood Horde. Okay, just woke up. Stop yelling at me. I'm sorry. You're right. Right, Stuart. Stuart, you got to take Mulholland Drive down the 45. Hey, Orcus, just on that note, I don't know if you know this. I saw short with Bill Hader in it. And they said for that Californian skit on SNL that Fred Armisen, right, in rehearsal said what are you doing here in a normal voice. So when he changed it up live, that's why Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig started laughing. It's because he didn't do it in rehearsal. So when he's like, "What are you doing here?" they couldn't hold back. I know nothing of the sport, but I think there should be a cricket team called the Wicket Men. and have a wicker man as a logo. That is probably the biggest sport I am the most ignorant about is cricket. Like, tons of countries play it. I have, like, zero knowledge of it. There's a paddle. There's a ball. Right? There's the wicket, I think, right? Oh, that's it, man. The thing more boring than cricket is golf. Blake, you ever golf? Have you ever tried golfing? I'm just curious. Have you tried golfing? I used to say the same thing, and then I actually golfed, and it's weird. Like, not weird like, oh, this is a strange game. It's weird how you would think it's so boring, but once you do it, you're like, you know what? I could do this. I could take a walk, hit this ball, get pissed off, throw my clubs. It's oddly not, unless you get really ticked off and you just hate the sport, but it's like, interesting. Like, it's almost weird. Like it's something where you're like, all right, I'm going to hit this ball and it's like playing a video game. It's like, oh, I got this thing. Oh, I'm no good at it. And you just keep doing it. It's strangely weird in that way, in my opinion. Yeah, not for me. Okay, that's fair. Hollywood Horde is an NFL team. There you go. Thank you, sir. Curling. Oh, God. This guy. Curling. The Shoggoth Sweepers. All right, I'll take it. I worked with a guy who was a big curler. Like, he would take off. That was part of his deal. Like, if he got a new job, he had to negotiate an offer so that he could make his curling events in the curling season. He would take off PTO and everything, but part of it was like, I'm part of the curling club, and he traveled all over the Midwest and Canada and did curling. He actually has curled with some of the Olympic folks that are on the Olympic team in the U.S. because some of them are here. Wisconsin speed skaters and some curlers. Golfing is great, particularly with a drink in hand. See, there you go. Yeah. The drink keeps the temper down, I think. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. You just kind of go out there, breathe fresh air, walk the grass, and boom, boom. So, Sean, just walking around a golf course talking like Bill Murray in Caddyshack. Dude, totally. Cinderella story. The llama, big hitter llama. So on my deathbed, I will achieve utter consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is pretty nice. Let's go golfing in Madison, Gabe. Golf during GameholeCon. If it doesn't snow, you can get as long as it's not too cold, some of those golf courses stay open, and tee times are really easy in the fall in Wisconsin. Curling is one of those sports that once I see it on TV, I have to stop watching and watch till the end. Now for the sponsors. This year's All-Star Game is powered by the Apocalypse. Hey-o. All right. So much for sports ball names. I figured it was kind of a long shot, but there were some good ones. I put on a punk show at a curling club, and they fit perfectly. Oh, that would be hilarious. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you for, the Canadian banter and all the good stuff in the chat. The Free League Fireballs, one last one by Tim. There you go. Get Free League to sponsor the Free League Fireballs. All right, let's get into RPG stuff. God, get all this guy, and I'm talking about RPGs. He said RPG talk. It's even his name. So probably should get to that. Oh, too funny.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Let's get into RPG news, shall we? Shall we? All right. All right. So Greg Tito, in case anybody didn't get the memo, he was the director of communications, I believe, was his official title at Wizards of the Coast. He has moved on. So I just wanted to recognize Greg for all of his work at Wizards of the Coast. He has now moved on to be the Deputy Director of External Affairs for the Washington Secretary of State Office in Olympia, Washington. So he says, on Blue Sky, he says, I've purposely not posted much about my day job here, but now I can tell you why. I'm leaving Wizards of the Coast as of today. This was a week ago. Apparently, I will now be in government. What? That's right. I'm going to be Deputy Director of External Affairs for the Washington Secretary of State Office in Olympia, Washington. Tom Lommel, if you know Tom, he's done some commercials. He's also been the Dungeon Bastard in the past. And he says, wow, big change. Congrats. And he says, Greg responds, thanks. It feels good to do something that doesn't just line the pockets of assholes. He does correct himself down below and says, sorry, I meant shareholders, in quotes. So I got to say this. Greg's job has probably not been that easy. I've always said, hey, whoever's overseeing like social media for Wizards of the Coast and, press releases and the public voice of Wizards of the Coast has probably had their hands full for a while. And whatever he was making there, he probably earned every single penny of it, I have to say, through all of the ordeals. Hats off to you, Mr. Tito. Godspeed. All right, next up, let's do this. New podcast spotlights Aussie TTRPG scene. What? Aussie Roll Call is a new podcast that spotlights innovation in local TTRPG scene. Blake, are you a guest on this thing yet? Oh, I better put links in the show notes or show chat before I get too crazy or too lost. The Aussie Roll Call podcast by ARC launched this week and highlights emerging creators and innovators of the Australian TTRPG scene with additional news about new games, crowdfunding projects, and upcoming events. And just so you know, this is available worldwide. So even if you're not Australian, you could actually listen to this podcast. Just saying. So check it out there. Looks like they've got a few episodes out already, and they talk about the guests here. So there you go. I'm looking forward to good things from the folks there down under. Let them know you exist, Blake, and that you are an Aussie-based RPG designer. Next up, Folklore Jam 2024. They did this last year, I think, or was it a while ago? I think I Googled it and it came up. Held in 2019 and 2020, also secretly in 2023. Anyways, 2024, Folklore Jam. Write an analog game that incorporates elements from a folklore, including myths, urban legends, etc., of your own culture or a place you belong. So there you go. There you go, Todd. Folklore Jam. Canadian folklore, supplement, RPG, boom, bam. You do it for Folklore Jam, and it's Canadian. Mic drop, Todd's out. All right? Old games are allowed as long as they are updated during the jam period. So here's some notes if you're interested in doing that. Bam. Bam. Next up, the Next Adventure Design Jam. Drive-Through RPG and Dungeon Masters Guild would like you to submit your ideas or your adventures, if you will, to their store. I don't know, maybe inventory's low? I don't know. Gamers have tried out a new to them RPG. They've played through the quick start or the starter set and are looking for more. This is where you come in. The Next Adventure is a creative challenge for you to design and publish a new adventure that picks up where the first adventure left off. Last things last, anybody? Whether that is continuing the story from Lost Mines of Phandelver for D&D, or giving the crew a new haunted house to explore after the longest night from World of Darkness, Ghost Hunters, or a follow-up mission from a quick trip from Achtung Cthulhu. It's up to you to keep the game going. So here's some of the design jam goals. It's really around falling under some of these folks' community content programs. Yada yada, some of the rules. So it's from September 1st to September 30th. We're recording this September 7th. So if you see it after the fact, that's the reason. But there you go. There you go if you're interested. Link in the chat. Is this a contest? I'm confused. If it is, it is or just a call for more content. It doesn't. So here's the deal. Upload your content. DB is descriptive. Make sure you starter set. Recommendations and best practices. Resources. Yeah, there's participating programs. So this is all the community programs that are out there that I think it's just to beef their stuff up. Like, I mean, come on. Why do this? I don't know. You feel like it. You could earn some money, if you put like a price to it. And then, of course, Drive-Thru RPG gets what, 30%? It's not a contest. It doesn't say. I think a jam, well, I don't know if jams are contests necessarily. Like the folklore jam, I don't think some you get like, best submission will get $1,000 or whatever. That doesn't look like you get anything out of here. But you can sell it. It also says not just because a publisher or program is not listed does not mean anything deeper than simply they do not have a quick start or starter set to jump off from, or the publisher does not allow content in their worlds. We recommend trying out a new community content program if yours is not participating. Wow. Whoa. So, okay, whatever. Drive-through, fine. Yeah, but it doesn't have any, like, if, there's a deadline, but it's kind of weird, right? It's not a contest, but there's a deadline. But you could do it anytime you want anyway. I don't know. Hey, man, don't kill the messenger, all right? Let's just, if you're interested, then great. Let's. All right, D20 Brew. Wizards of the Coast expand their adult drink range. New Holland Brewing Company partnered with Wizards of the Coast for official D&D beers. Those drinks, Dragon's Milk, stouts, and ales are thankfully not supplied in bottles shaped like dragon teats. Great. Well, that's good. There's going to be a limited edition D20 Brew Bourbon Barrel Stout and an Origin Mead Cask Bourbon Whiskey will be available in November, but only to select stores and their website. I am 21. Look at that. So if you're interested, there you go. I said this before. Like it or not, D&D everywhere should be like KISS. Gene Simmons should run the paraphernalia licensing team for Wizards, because that's what it's going to be. D&D on everything. Lunchboxes, beers, whiskey, keychains, tchotchkes, glasses, whatever you can put D&D on, go nuts. So that's not a big shock. Well, let's get pretty... Crimson Keep, Tales of Gold. I mean, they do make some good, tasty burrs, right? I wonder if this is going to be local. I think maybe. There you go. I'd love to have one of these at like Gamehole Con, but that's going to come out too late apparently. Plus, Matthew Lillard has got his own kind of themed thing. Last thing on the news. Oh, shoot. Did I put that? I did put it in. Last thing. Tabletop Mirror, the premier TTRPG platform for homebrewing GMs, celebrates a successful crowdfunding campaign and exciting future. We've touched on this in the past. They changed their name. So, yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe they ran. Sometimes what happens is they'll be like, oh, this is what our name at Tabletop Mirror. And then they realize like they can't get the domain. There's somebody else that has a product called Tabletop Mirror, and then they have to change it. So they changed it, and they're out of Sacramento, California. Tabletop Mirror probably announces a launch campaign, 51 grand was raised US, 2,100%. And then in addition to celebrating the successful campaign, today also marks an exciting new chapter for Tabletop Mirror as the platform rebrands to Hedron. This change reflects the platform's evolution and its commitment to providing a multifaceted, cutting-edge tool for TRPG enthusiasts worldwide. So we mentioned this tool. We mentioned the crowdfunding campaign, but now they're changing the name, so just so you're aware. Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. That was it for news. Should we get into print news? Print news! Let's do it. This caught my eye. We'll run Rascal. You little rascal. Those rascals. Rope the mark, tell the tale, take the touch, and blow them off. It's an RPG. Welcome to the big store. A con game, TTRPG, where you're the cons running the game, possibly at a con. I thought this was kind of cool. I don't know. This is by Nathan Paletta. Nathan is no slouch in the RPG design space. He's put out some good stuff, like the Worldwide Wrestling was his game, amongst others. The Big Store is a tabletop role-playing game where you play confidence tricksters running a game on a greedy mark. Each of you has a job to do, building a story that entices them deeper into your false world until you're ready to make the sting and take off with your score. I mean, some of us love this type of genre, like The Sting, Ocean's 11, some of those games. Well, here you go. Now it's in an RPG form. So it's 3 to 5 players, the manager, and then 2 to 4 con artists. It takes about 2 to 3 hours, so short. It says 2 to 3 hours / con game to play. Supports playing one-off cons, as well as a linked series that follows the ongoing careers of your con artists. With the Italian, I don't know about the Italian job. I don't know if it's necessarily a con. Kind of, maybe. Includes 3 example con game plans and 5 ready-to-play marks, as well as everything you need to make your own. $10 digital bundle or $20 in print. So there you go. And it talks a little bit more about it. So get your con on. See you, Todd. Did I see Todd's taking off? See you, Todd, buddy. Let's see. Next, EN World. See if we got anything new here. Traveler. Man, Travelers. Whew. I mean, they put out a lot of stuff, man. Right? Mongoose for Traveler. Third Imperium was fought over 4 frontier wars against the Zardoni Consulate. The Fifth Frontier War. And Wrath of the Ancients. Go buy that stuff if you're a Traveler person. Probably already know about it. Storm and Root by MythWorks. A lot of these print news things are usually from crowdfunding, and now they are available in print. So sometimes, it's kind of like crowdfunding in this stream I put last, so people could probably bow out. Then, a year later, come back and find these in print. Oh, my stupid freaking camera, I tell you, man. So the next one, Storm and Root by MythWorks, the Wild Sea Core Rules. That is out in print now. Salvage Union. We touched this when I went crowdfunded. Hardcover Core Rules is out, $40. So now you don't have to I don't know if it's going to come out. When should it come out? There you go. Looks like a 3 fur, maybe 4, 3. Wolfwald. I guess it depends on how you pronounce it. Sanctimonious Slimes versus Expired Epicures. Beyond the Pale and Game Masters Journal. Or Bullet Journal, I always usually call it. Fantasy class based Errant Cairn Pilgrimage of the Penitent game systems being featured here. So they're putting out a few pieces of print. Next thing, Legendary Classes Bloodline Disciple, Legendary Classes Psychics by Legendary Games for Pathfinder 1st Edition are out in print. And that looks like that wraps up the print segment for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Checking the chat, making sure you guys aren't flaming me, trolling me. William says things submitted might get highlighted. Don't know. I mean, I guess they will if you get like gold or electrum level, right? Folklore football team, the Hungry Hodags. Tim's cranking them out still. He's making a list. What's up, Wayne? He's on vacation and even takes time out. Thanks, buddy. Now, Wayne, never mind. I was going to say, I think vacation. I don't think Wayne works and he's on vacation. That's hilarious. Envious, that makes me. You get to line the pockets of, hey-o. There was already a Gygax beer. It was not good. When the film was in cinemas, you could get tracksuits with D&D logo on arms and legs. Oh, the D&D film. There you go. Here at Kmart, that is. What? You got Kmarts in Australia? Dude, that's awesome. Do you have blue light specials? They still have blue light specials? Do I feel if I go to Australia, I'll be going back to the 80s? Too funny. Kmart, man. Oh, man. I can't believe you guys got Kmarts. Wayne says, Antioch branded depends in all of our futures. Oh, my God. Let's see. Just the Big Store inspired by many con episodes of the Rockford Files. There you go. Have not read yet. All right. Let's see. What else? Oh, I'm almost caught up. Would be good for Leverage the RPG. Oh, that's a good one, too. Yeah. Leverage. Don't forget Leverage. That's a great show. I love that show. Chris said back I can't wait to see what Nathan Paletta Games does with it. Morning, Jim. Hey. Morning, Sleepy Face. Morning, Jim. Good to see you. D&D pens. Ugh. This is why time zones are weird. Australia's in the 80s time zone. Dude, Kmart, that is awesome, dude. We got to bring back Kmart. Kmart and the mall. Boy, went to the mall. Because we have a movie theater at the local mall here. Tim knows. Wow. Let me just say. All right, let's get into crowdfunding. All right. Yes, they have a Kmart. It's right next to Circuit City in the warehouse. We're in Radio Shack. Walden Books. Just name off all the stores in the mall. 80s mall. All right. Baker Kit. Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Deities and Demi-Brews supplement. 20 grand of a 10K goal. Looks vaguely familiar. That first book. Odd. Anybody get in on this? What? Tag team rules unlocked at 12K. What? Oh, that artworks. I've seen this somewhere before, maybe. Is it the font? It must be the font. Ooh. Mankind's Savior. Ooh. Looks familiar too. I mean, I guess parody, right? Great art. It is an aesthetic. Oh, come on now. Come on. Copy paste. There you go. Glow in the dark slammer. Okay, like, can I just find out what this thing's about? Here you go. In the realms of galaxies and dimensions, they have been champions, legends, and icons, but none have been as powerful as the gods, with the Z, by the way. For eons, they have eons with an S, by the way. They have shaped the course of humanity. Their matches echoing across cosmos like thunderclaps from the galactic ring of eternity. Their origins are shrouded in mystery, but it is said that the gods with a Z were born from the very essence of Primus, the Allspark itself, forged in the blaze of Atheon, the celestial forge. Using the god's fire, Primus created each of the primordial gods with a Z. Through shadow and deceit, the god's fire, with a Z, of course, became corrupted as darkness whispered to Primus to create the gods, chaos gods themselves. Chaos with a KH. Like, it's a wrestling gods, primordial gods, galactic gods, chaos gods, and everything in between. It's all about the wrestling. Looks like wrestling. Wrestling in the cosmos. Brian Shutter is a great dude. He played White Sands with us last year at Gamehole. Oh, I think he sat right next to me, didn't he? Brian puts out some fun stuff. Neon Lords is a great game. There you go. Lots of endorsements. I jumped on the new Neon Lords material. It's all pretty funny. It was my first game of Gamehole Con 2022, and unfortunately my Bruticorn got run over by a forklift. This is where where I am firmly outside the Venn diagram that covers wrestling and gaming. Maybe it's just me, but that art and layout generates its own soundtrack, the final countdown. For sure. I agree, Wayne. I don't know. It's not for me. But I'd play it. I would go to a game hole and play this thing. Absolutely. All right, next up. Netcrawl. Funded $27K, a $10K on BackerKit. Did we bring this up before? I thought we did. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it was before it was released. You are coherent data traveling at the speed of light, a digital avatar searching for computerized information. There's something hidden in the virtual realms, and you shall hack it. Netcrawl is an RPG about adventuring inside a computer system. Everyone goes in. Seconds pass in the meat space as players spend hours conquering a cyber dungeon together. Tron, anyone? I think that's how we brought it up before. It was like it was inspired by Tron. I think. I'm just speaking out loud here. Here it is. Inspiration. William Gibson's seminal cyberpunk novel Neuromancer, among many other works of science fiction and cyberpunk. Uses D20 system and Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG rulebook that can run as a cyber sidecar to your current game or as a standalone game with little or no notion of an outside meat space world. Julian Burnick. This is Burnick stuff, hey, Hobbsy? I didn't know Burnick was in on this. And Brian Shutter. There you go. Brian's busy. Brendan LaSalle is involved. Some notable people in the DCC space, if you will. Check it out. Story Path. Some of these came from the Discord. Thank you for the folks that have supplied these to the Discord. You know who you are. 35K, a 10K goal. Story Path, core manual, ultra core manual. So Onyx Path, in 2017, Onyx Path unveiled the Story Path system, the rules engine that has come to power many of the games, the sci-fi universe of hope, heroism, and peril known as the Trinity Continuum, the modern-day stories of old gods and titans called Scion 2nd Edition, and the trope-focused exploration of genre that is They Came From series, and more. So if you like that system, this seems like a no-brainer. Talks about how it works. Learn more at the Crowdfunder. All right. Brought this up on stream before. This is not launched yet. I probably brought it up in pre-launch before. Obviously. Tome of World Building and the Namacon's coming from Mythmere Games. Matt Finch's company that did Swords and Wizardry. So if you're Swords and Wizardry and we're on some of those crowdfunding campaigns, you're getting emails about this. So I know some folks might be checking this out and eyeing it and signed up. There's almost 1,400 followers on the campaign already. So if you want to be notified, make sure you sign up to get notified, all right? Oh, and I can't put the URL in there because it's just simply too long. Come on, man. Come on, YouTubes. Why is it so long? There's so many referrals, probably. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of some of this garbage. There we go. Try it this time. Boom. All right. Also put out the Tome of Adventure Design. Yes. Yes. Next one. Sleepy Hollow. 5K, 58K, 5,800 of 3,500 goal. Game of early 19th century folk horror. This is like takes place after the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This is Year Zero engine powered, which I am interested in knowing. You know, like, I'm going to make Sleepy Hollow and kind of make it, you know, it's kind of a horror tale, right? Kind of thing. How does Year Zero facilitate that? I don't know. Looks cool, I gotta say. Some stretch goals. Let me see. Kids in the Attic. No. Does it say zero backed projects this year? But this is on BackerKit. Followers, created projects. Yeah, just this one. Kids in the Attic. I wonder if Kids in the Attic did anything on another platform, maybe? I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Too funny. Yeah, me too, Tyler, right there. That's the question. Curious how YZE will work in horror because the only other example I have seen is not good. Well, and that's, I mean, Alien, right? Outside, there you go. Yeah. I think you could do it. You got to probably have some type of stress mechanic or something. Vason too. Yep, that's true. All right. Social deduction and death. One of us will die. This caught my eye. I was reading it. I'm like, okay, all right. Listen to this, folks. Hey, everybody, gather around. It's a social deduction game where you and your friends are like the Fellowship of the Ring, and you need to figure out which of you is Boromir. Now, I don't know if I wholly agree with that tie-in, but okay. I do appreciate they're going to get to this, right? So One of Us Will Die is a social deduction role-playing game system developed for 4 to 6 players, game master included. So from the beginning of the adventure, one player is aware that their character will die towards the end of the game. All others must use their skills of observation to identify who among them is marked for death before it's too late. So bear with me. So I'm like, oh, all right. So this is... let's see, where was it? It's not there. It tells more. Here it is. This is the paragraph I kind of like, interesting. Death is something that's been a bit of a tricky thing for a lot of new players and game masters in RPGs. Some players are too attached to their characters to open themselves up to the idea, and GMs are too worried that the death will seem unfair. In One of Us Will Die, players tackle this problem by accepting its inevitability, at least for one of them. Players play their characters with the end in mind, the ultimate end. Instead of worrying about leveling up, surviving, getting stronger, or attaining more power, players can think about legacy, how their characters will be remembered, and what world they will leave behind. That paragraph was like, haha, interesting. Now, some of us, I know from Gaming and BS, we did an episode on like character death. Like it was, I know, 400 episodes, and I know the title of that one specifically. And it stirred up quite a bit of conversation around that theme. Because I remember one person who's in the chat, I won't call him out, but he was like, I'm good with character death. Like, as long as it makes sense, I'm good with it. I don't know why everybody's so adverse to it. I plan on playing a game and a character is not going to be in a campaign from like level 1 to 20. So I thought that was like, okay, I will bring this up. It is now, currently, One of Us Will Die is complete but unpublished. So to raise funds for the launch, the creator has set up shorter, lighter version of the game. And if you'd like to see this project grow its wings, consider buying a copy. Every little bit helps. So it's on their itch page. I will link to this article so you can read it, and then there's a link to the itch page in this article on Rascal. Let's see. Need to take another break for this vacation. Oh, hold on. Gabe says the Fellowship Boromir angle pitch description makes no sense to me. I would agree. I think that was a bad. I don't. That wouldn't be the angle I would go with, but these folks should read the trophy games. Same as for Delta Green, it's a descent / character ruin arc. Yeah. But there's still, even in Delta Green, there may still be an adversity to killing the characters. Like, I think RPGs, there is a camp that just, they don't want their character to ever die. Which, then you get into the OSR, and it's like, that's kind of the deal. Like, don't get attached to your character. They got 3 hit points. First level, they're going to get an arrow and, like, step on a thumbtack, and their wizard's going to die. Trophy Dark could be named All of Us Will Die. Harrigan, yep. Only one person in chat? What are you doing, Hobbs? Personally, I'm good with character death. Well, that's fair. I think Ross is coming to Gamehole this year. Let's find out who that person is. It's a social deduction game. The article seems to be aimed at people who have only played D&D clones. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I bet you, I'm curious to do a survey like as large as possible and say, are you good with your character dying, or if you had a choice of having your character never die or being okay with character death, I am very interested to see that dynamic in RPGs. I follow the Ivan Drago philosophy on character death. There are many games without character death. Yeah, true, if that's the game. Right? If that's at the center of the game, like, 10 candles, right? Is it 10 candles? 10 candles, right? Yeah. Like, that's the theme of the game. And it's part of many role-playing games, but it's not at the core. Like, it might even say in the rules, like, hey, your character could die. Hey, if you run out of hit points, your character is dead. But that's different than, hey, this is 10 candles. When all the candles are extinguished, everybody's dead. Just so you know. So like the end game is character death, everybody. That is not RPGs generally. It's just not. So it's like if you are playing with the wrong person and you kill their character and they're on a different, like, and they're in a different frame of mind. What? I've never been mad about one of my characters dying. Make note of that, Sean. No, hey, let me write that down. I gotta write that down. Jim's character should have died the other day. By the hands of a T-Rex. Chomp, chomp. Invisible Sun has some interesting mechanics for player death. Death is not the end in Invisible Sun. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to play that. I don't know if I would want to do, like, well, so your character runs out of its life force, whatever it is, hit points. You're dead, but now you're in the spirit world. Hey, man, I'm in the spirit world, asshole. Nefertiti Overdrive 2.0 has plot armor, so players can decide if they want their character vulnerable to death, only cinematic heroic death, or no character death. At least you're highlighting it, Fraser, right? As a design choice. Starship Commandos has no character death, even though its aliens meet Starship Troopers, and in playtesting there was no reduction in player tension. But that's kind of where I work. I think Sean has a point, though. In my Delta Green game, the characters have had some scenario plot armor, which is going to disappear on the last session. Wrath the Oblivion. Everyone's already dead when they start the game. Wraith, sorry. I've played Wraith. Once. Brett ran it once. I think Hobbs was in that game. It was a good game. I liked it. I kind of figured that was the case. Shambot, there he is. Shambot's good with character death, right, Shambot? Yeah, they can't see us. Hobbs is in that game. It was quite glorious. Chompity chomp chomp. I have several options for characters to choose from if they do die. I usually use this for new players. Yeah, I don't know. It's. So I brought it up. There's conversation. It did what its job was, I thought it would do. RPG crowdfunding from Ian World. Let's see. So you've met a 1,000-year-old vampire. This is Tim Hutchings. Okay, so I have a question. Kristen, are you still in the chat? Because I think you commented on this crowdfunding. It was either this or the book they put out. I'm so confused. Thought that book was already out. I thought so too, but I'm not sure. So, 1,000-year-old vampire. Who did that? Was it Tim or was it somebody else? I must have pulled it off the shelf. Anyways, there was 1,000-year. It is okay. It's Tim Hitchings. They have Hutchings in here. Those guys have a typo. I just picked up a copy of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. I've started reading it, and it has fascinated me. It's a great book, for sure. I sold mine, yeah. Did I sell it? I think it was on the chopping block. I don't think I actually sold it, though. Or did I sell it to Ryan West? Hutchings. It is Hutchings. Okay, Tim Hutchings. Final answer. See ya, Hobbs. Thanks for I'm glad you dropped in, man. Have a great weekend. So Tim Hutchings did this, the original, but I thought there was another person who did something 1,000-year-old vampire. Like maybe it was like the 5,000-year-old vampire or something, right? Kristen was, I think, in on that. And then it wasn't a great RPG. Like it was like not. I don't think it wasn't like raked over the coals, but there was something about it where it was just like, there he is. It was the previous crowdfunding campaign called 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. No. And it was Tim Hutchings. Oh, it was? I'm getting my wires crossed then. I thought somebody else did there's a 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, the game, and it was kind of cool. And then somebody decided to do a twist on it or a different rule supplement on it. God, he was on Craig Shipman's podcast, and I thought somebody got in on that, and they were just like, it wasn't really I don't know, it wasn't for me, and whatever. Maybe I'm misspeaking. Anyways, check it out. I don't know what Sean's talking about. Eileen, yeah, there was a second one that was an art piece. No, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Anyways, moving on. Inman story, Legends Wake. It was exactly the book, but abstracted it so it's unreadable. That's what Gabe knows. Yeah. Thank you, Gabe. Yes. Okay. Animon story, Legends Awake, huge expansion for the TTRPG about kids and their monster friends. There you go. An original system source book. It's out now, $55, crowdfunding. It's $44K at $10K minimum. So, bam, funded. Next one, the all-new Gobber's Guide to Hearth and Home from Unlimited Realms, 5th edition. 28K of 17K. Here's the deal. I just want to make, I was thinking about this. There's a lot of 5th edition stuff out there, like crowdfunding campaigns, new products, new supplements, all this stuff. If I come across and I don't touch on a lot of 5th edition stuff, it's because I'm trying to give more attention to everything that's not 5th edition. Now, sometimes, of course, I come across something, I let you guys know about it. And some people may say, how come, Sean, you don't bring up all the 5th edition supplements and designers and third-party stuff and crowdfunding? And it's because you have 5th edition doing that for you, in my humble opinion. So if if you're hitching your trailer to that wagon, then great. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But you are opting into the big 5e marketing realm space. That is that area by choice. And you're choosing it for a particular reason. You're either choosing it because you like the game, or you're choosing it because you like the game and it's probably going to get a lot of exposure and marketability because it's tied to 5e. Just want to put that out there. There you go. All right. So if I gloss over the 5e stuff, hey, what are you going to do? The Evil at the End of the Path, Dragonbane and Durdagar for Dragonbane. It's an adventure. The Evil at the End of the Path. So it looks like 250, I don't remember the Swedish kroner. It's funded. Any Dragonbane fans get in on this? We got a few in the chat. It's got 1 week to go. 50,000 kroner limit minimum at 276K, so funded. Yepers, Blake got in on it. Blake's the new Dragonbane guy. And Gabe says that's what Eileen means. Okay, thank you. I apologize. An art piece. Oh, I see. It was an art piece because it was not it was unreadable. Okay. And then Kristen clarifies. Okay, so Tim made 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, 10 out of 10 game. Then he made another Kickstarter for a comic with a companion for the 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, and the companion was a copy of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. Okay, sounds convoluted and goofy, and that's probably why everybody was a little, with all the words and pictures blurred out. Okay, that sounds like not great. Will 5e officially is, well, 5e is officially over. Maybe. And then Orca says, didn't he do that abstracted book for the AD&D 1E player's handbook? It's just an abstract art, unreadable copy. Blake says, Blake was talking about yepers to the crowdfunder here. All right, moving on. Let's go. Thank you for clarification. I appreciate it. I didn't realize that Eileen's was it was an art book. It probably was both, right? she was saying it was an art book because it was unreadable, and being unreadable was just art. Like, okay. Dragonix's Deadly Denizens, the second 300-page D&D 5e bestiary from Dragonix Books. That's funded. Next one, Barbarians of Lemuria, Mythic Edition. That was brought up even before I think it kicked off. It's in its final throes. 19K of 10K euros. Some Barbarians of Lemuria fans that are on the Discord. Next one, what is Crown of Salt? Crown of Salt from Tania Herrero for Merkborg. Why is he saying it like that? Because it's been known to be Bori, B-O-R-G, so I'm making fun of that. Yes, sorry, I'm on my phone multitasking, kind of slow to type. All good, all good. All good, all good. This one, 13K of an 1800 goal, so that's going to come to market ideally. Hobgoblin's Fortress, a module for D&D 5e Pathfinder for Ramen Sandwich Press. There you go. That is not funded. They got to do $34 a day to get it to over the goal line. So we'll see if that goes. There you go. A little lower today. Oh, what's new, Sean? What's new? What's new, right? I don't know, man. So that's it. That's it. That's all I got for this week. Did I miss anything? Shadowdark. The Shadowdark West Marches games continue, just for anybody that is interested. It's a little slower in the summer months. Who picked it up? Had a game the other night. They were going to go to the Keep. They ran into a random encounter that killed one player character. So, if you're interested in playing TinyCon, where's TinyCon? Tim? TinyCon? I love it when my keyboard is TinyCon. Is that in Atlanta? Blake says, you recording any of the Shadowdark games for your podcast YouTube? I am not, because I didn't want people... First of all, I didn't want it to be a distraction. Secondly, I didn't want to deal with any tech snafus, because if I play, we got to, like, if it's a 2-hour session, we got to get to the game. Like, show up. All right, everybody, where are you going? We're going here, Shaw. Got it. Whoop. And let's make it roll. So we'll see, Blake. I mean, maybe I'll get, hey, I'm going to run this game on Saturday. Who's up for it? And, oh, by the way, I want to record it and then have people opt in. I could certainly do that. Oh, the crowdfunding campaign. I think, what is it on? What platform? Is it Kickstarter? Is it the convention organization platform? Yeah, I've seen it. We brought it up here. I think it was even before it was launched. Crowdfunding. There it is. TinyCon events. Yeah, we brought it up. This has been brought up. Launching soon. Yeah, it's still in the launching soon phase. What day is the Shadowdark game? Well, that's the trick question, right? When you play West Marches, is that you guys tell me. Which originally I put out availability out there to make it kind of easier so people could go, oh, let's, Sean's available Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's play Thursday. With me refraining from doing that, there has been people that have driven that, which is ideally the West Marches way. Like, hey, we want to play Shadowdark. And Ryan, I think, was one of them this past week. It's like, Ryan West is like, hey, Sean, want to play Shadowdark? What do you got available this week? I was thinking this day or this day. Yes, I'm happy to play that day. I'll run that day at 8 o'clock Central Time. So I've kind of not formally informed. I have not formally informed players to go, hey, if you guys want to play, you got to let me know. So that is on me. It's not the player's fault. But hey, yeah, don't pay the ferryman. Where is that? It's like I think it's at $2 million, right? $2 million, Blake. Don't pay the ferryman. Pay Blake. right? Look at that. Dude, that's so gonna fund. Go over there. That's Blake's game. Let's help him get over that $2 million mark. Cosmere levels. I have not funded it, but I will. Or I haven't kicked in yet, but I will. 770 of $1,000 goal, 50 backers, 19 days to go. That's in the bag. See you, Kristen. Yeah, safe travels. Nothing else. Use the X Mapper Adventures for your own games. There you go. So Shadowdark's going. I'm running Delta Green. I don't know if I like the scenario. I shouldn't say this because there's players in the chat that are playing in it, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Running that every other week. We're into session 4. Hoping to wrap it up 6, 7, 8 maybe. 8 at the max. Can't imagine going past 8 sessions total. So reminds me I gotta get a date on the calendar for that. Sean, you can always add more audiugs. I could for sure. So there's that. Gamehole Con. I will be at Gamehole Con. For those of you going, I will be there. Please say hello. We will be having a social on Saturday evening of the con, which is in October. Go to gameholecon.com. Saturday night, 8 o'clock, working with the Gamehole folks to get a room, probably be a similar room, convention, conference room, BYOB, and that includes if you just drink water, that's okay. You're fine, feel free. It's an open area, like open invite. It's not invite only, but I don't think we're going to, that was the question, Sean, do you want this to be put, on the official list of events? And I'm like, I don't want people showing up hey, where's the bar? So, everybody, I won't turn anybody away. It's an open room. We're having the Gamehole guys allow us to use it. So, but yes. And if you see me around, say hello, please. I am going to be running Deathmatch Island Thursday and Friday. And then I am playing in a Troika game, a Call Cthulhu game, and I can't remember what else. Maybe that's it. There might be a third one in there somewhere. I can't remember. And then maybe some off-book stuff. I may play in one of Hoose's games. But I'm also considering running a little this one. I don't know what this thing's about. Oh, Outcast Silver Raiders. Yeah, I've got some interest from folks from the Discord and the community and those a couple guys in the chat to run this, which should be really interesting and easy because I've heard it's pretty easy to kind of just throw down and start playing. It's got some interesting mechanics. So Outcast Silver Raiders, kind of a open source, open world type of game. I think it's got some cool mechanics in it. More OSR spirited, if you will. So I think I have time that I could I'll probably run that one of the evenings, maybe Thursday evening, maybe Friday evening is people after dinner, kind of like we did with Hobbs last year, maybe. Throw down some character sheets, do character gen, be really quick. Pull something out of the campaign setting and go to town. So, yeah. Human-centric, blood magic. The magic system is for sorcerers is you pretty much gotta kind of self-harm your character to do the magics. So it's got that vibe to it, if I might say so. Their booth at Gen Con seemed to always be busy. Yeah, I think it'll be a smooth game to run, pretty ad hoc, impromptu, if you will. So yeah, that's it. That is all she wrote, folks. I want to thank everybody here for joining. Thank you so much. I really appreciate seeing you all in the chat every weekend. I'll be here next Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Doing it all again, man. Doing it all again. Yeah. I want to thank all of these folks here for throwing me a few shekels each month. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So with that, I will leave you with be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. Spend some time gaming. Spend some time to yourself if you need to. And we'll see you on the next one. As soon as I get these folks the credits going. See you guys later. Have a great rest of your night, day, weekend, whatever time of day this finds you after the stream. See ya.